Thank you. You on?
Hello.
Hello. I was like, this is the first time I've proper gone live, so I had no idea what I was doing.
I was so confused. I was like, why is my face not showing? What's going on?
Is my face showing properly? Because on my screen it's got loads of little squares saying invite.
Yeah, you've got loads of little squares.
All right. See, I've never done it on TikTok, so I haven't got a bloody clue.
No, not me.
Hi, Elise. Oh, hang on. Shrink. No. Oh, well, hang on. I'll see, this way I had the laptop open because I was like, I'm going to have technical issues. Yeah, lots of tiny ones. Thank you. How the hell? Right. No, I don't want to flip my camera. Because when I click on you, it says expand. And that brings up that screen.
That makes me big. Hello.
Right. See, I should have practiced this beforehand. My random face up on the screen. How are you anyway? How's your day been?
All right. Just went to the muggle job. Didn't do anything exciting.
Muggle job. I love that you call it the muggle job.
Well, my other job is I create fantasy worlds, which is more magical.
Yes. I hate the muggle job. Click on the 3 lines. That's what I've done. How do you split screen? That's what I want. Don't want all these tiny little squares. I want a split screen. Anyone in watching know how to split screen?
Yeah, please tell us, because we are not good.
Muggle job. Karen said, muggle job, I'm stealing that.
It's the best way to describe it. It's the one that earns the money, but not the one I want to do.
Yeah, unfortunately. Adult in...
Oh, click on guests and go to settings.
Guests. Settings. Ah! Yay, nearly there.
Yay!
Did it. Who said that? Oh, thank you, Toxic Clown. Fab. See? It's nothing to do with age, I promise.
So, how are you feeling about your release?
Oh, there it is. I've got mine right here. Yeah. All right, it's been a mad couple of days. I had a bit of a issue with Waterstones.
Oh.
Luckily, I had one of the sales managers message me last week saying they'd noticed an influx of pre-orders from Waterstones, so could we have a video chat? And I was like, yes, of course. Ooh. Which was really exciting. And then literally the day before release, it disappeared off Waterstones. And I was like, oh no, what have I done? But I hadn't done anything. But what I'm thinking, I haven't had an email back from her yet, is they had to take it off to deal with all the pre-orders.
Yeah.
And send them out. Well, people had it early, so... which was fun for me, but...
It's exciting, though.
I know. But all I've had is messages of people reading it in like 4 hours and saying, where's book 2?
I know, it's bonkers how quick readers can read a book, isn't it?
I know. I was like, oh, it only took me a year to write it. But I love it. I love it. I need a physical copy. Can I get it on Amazon? Says Mercedes. You can. Originally, it wasn't up for pre-order on paperback on Amazon because it was through Waterstones and Ingram Spark, and you probably know, Rhi, when you do it on Amazon and Ingram Spark, they just don't get on.
Yeah, they freak out.
Yeah, but it is available for paperback on Amazon now. And Barnes & Noble and Waterstones. So exciting. But yeah, it does feel weird that this one's out in the world because this wasn't the third book I planned to publish, the third book being Truth of the Hollow from the Stag and Hollow Chronicles.
Yeah.
So this one just punched in my head while I was writing book 3 and demanded to be written, and then quite luckily got published. But I feel good that I've actually published a book so far this year. I've been so slow.
But it's that's so good though. I can't believe you had like 600 ARC applications as well. That was bonkers.
Yeah, that was insane. Absolutely insane. But it was a completely different marketing strategy that I did to Prince of the Ancients. Because Prince of the Ancients, I was actually really, really picky about the ARC readers. Not like follower count of it or anything like that, but mostly had these people ARC read before. Because obviously it's very different to like a beta read or something. Like, and do they actually review on GOODREADS and Amazon, etc. But this time I was just like, no, it's for the readers. I don't do it for the money. It's for the readers. If you want it, you can have a copy. And then, 650 ARC applications I had after, and I was just like, that's insane. So I was like, yeah, every single one of you can have it. Have it. And it did pay off because before release day I had over 100 ratings on GOODREADS, which, if you were an ARC reader, thank you so much. That absolutely means the world. But yeah, just I think it's not that far off Prince of the Ancients for reviews now, which is nuts. And the response has been very, very good, which you probably know the feeling because obviously you're writing a slightly different genre now.
I am, yes.
Yeah. So,
and I'm
the same genre, but a different subgenre within fantasy.
Yeah, but I'm absolutely terrified.
Yes. That's because Prince of the Ancients and Queen of the Exiled is, like, you know, with your first series, it's world building. It's about the plot. It's not about the romance, even though the romance is a subplot. So then going into the Faerie Guild Trials, which is pure market romantasy, I wanted to write a market romantasy and basically hit the needs of the people who wanted that. And getting into it mentally was so strange because I'm so used to being told off by my editor that I world build a lot. So doing that differently was odd. And then it is because it's more about the romance, not so much the plot, but not the world building. It was very different. And I suppose that's what you're going through at the moment as well.
Well, yeah. So essentially I'm still writing it the same way as I was doing my other books. I'm just making sure I add in more romance.
Yeah.
And like my book, which I'm slowly revealing the title for on Instagram.
I know,
this week.
I'm dying.
I found a pre-made book cover and it was like this character art and it was beautiful. And I bought it and I was like, right, I need to make a story for it. And then this story just kind of developed.
I love it.
And it's one of the most fun things that I've ever done, which I'm sure was the same thing for you. Like, where did the idea for this come from?
So the idea for the Faerie Guild Trials, I was literally knee deep in writing book 3 for the Stag and Hollow. And as you know, that series is a lot more like mental health rep, a lot more heavier themes. And it came at a time when I speak on this platform a lot and I say, like, I'm always honest. I got no problem sharing anything. But that I started therapy for childhood trauma, and Effia sort of just like barged her way into my brain every
She was
time.
like, hello.
Literally, with a shadow, she was like, get out of the way. And that's basically where she come from. And I also read a lot. There is Welsh mythology called the Mabinogion, and there's basically 4 branches of the Mabinogion. So because I'm Welsh, I read a bit more into it. Love the stories. Some of them are very, very odd. Very, very odd. Like someone starts a war over a pig being stolen, stuff like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
sounds
best
brilliant.
reasons
Love
cause a war. So a lot of the names and a lot of the things came from the Mabinogion. But then I really just wanted, because one of the first books series I read when I started my Booktalk, which was like 3 years ago now, was the Cruel Prince series. And I really, really wanted that fairy feel, but in a trial setting. So like Hunger Games and Cruel Prince. So I just basically wanted to meld 2 of my old favourite series, but make it adult.
Yeah.
And make it with a lot more grown-up themes. So the trauma, this is something I've been speaking to a lot of readers about when they message me, is they didn't know how to feel about Effia in the beginning. And that actually made me so happy, because she is guarded, she is morally grey, but it did come from my like healing journey from childhood trauma. So I really wanted to get that out, and I think I did it in a really good way for myself, because it was healing, brighten the book. And then people were like, by the end, I absolutely fell in love with her. I'm like, oh, great, thank God for that. But so yeah,
that's really nice though.
There we see. Oh, Mercedes, I was lucky to be an art reader, but will be purchasing a copy. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Oh, Jade says, I love when you get multiple side ideas when you're meant to be in the middle of another project.
Yeah.
Yeah, happens all the time. There is literally... How many books?
Sorry, I was just letting my cat out of my office.
How many books am I writing at the moment? There will be spoilers for you in a bit for how many projects I'm working on at the moment. But 1, 2... I've got like 4 different projects living in my brain. 4, yeah.
Okay, even I can't do 4.
That's not singular books. That's 4 projects, as in full series. So, True for the Hollow, obviously.
Yeah.
So, this will be spoilers for people watching. So, True for the Hollow, which is the 3rd book, the finale in my Stag and Hollows Chronicle. That's like epic fantasy, dragon shifters, mental health rep, LGBTQ rep. I can't wait for you to read Queen of the Exiled, by the way, because it's so much better than Prince of the Ancients. So it is. Prince of the Ancients was my first book, but Queen of the Exiled was, everyone's like, your writing has got so much better. And I was like, oh, thank you. So that's that, the 3rd book in that, and then that series would be done. Or however, this sequel series keeps trying to break its way into my brain. So I'm like, right, you can go away. 2nd book in the Earth and Shadow series, which I have started. I've made a good dent on for the Faerie Guild Trials. Then I am halfway through a Why Choose vampire romance, which is set in the vampire realm, which is mentioned in the Faerie Guild Trials.
Ooh.
So I can't wait for that one. It's so And the main male character is like delicious. And then, spoiler, I will be doing a rebrand, and I'm writing a contemporary romance series. Full on rebrand.
Wow.
So I want a logo to like fit both the fantasy and the contemporary, because I was contemplating doing a different pen name, but then the thought of another social media, I was like, no, absolutely not. So I thought if I just...
So Another author actually did this recently. You know A.K. Mulford?
Love Ali. She was literally, High Mountain Court was the very first indie book I ever read and did on this platform. Like, I love her.
Hold on, I'm just going to say goodnight to my child.
All right.
There we go. Quick kiss and a cuddle. All done. Yeah, so Ali did the High Mountain Court series as A.K. Mulford, and then she's currently doing a contemporary romance series. Yeah, which she's done under Ali K. Mulford, so she keeps it all under the same socials.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because my worry was when you start doing videos and changing the hashtags to be like romance books instead of fantasy, I'm like, is it all going to get lost?
Yeah.
In the TikTok algorithm, because we all both know how.
I don't understand algorithms. I don't cater to them. I'm just like, we'll just hope luck helps me find people.
Yeah. Kai, my husband, works in software development, web development, and all like that. So, and SEO and all of this. So he constantly advises me on this stuff, and I'm like, we were having this conversation the other day because at the moment I'm trying to break into Instagram. And every single thing on my For You page on Instagram is like, this is how we can get you 10k followers. Like, these are the tricks you need to do. That's why I made that video the other day, taking the mix. I was like, you're lying. The algorithm just hates us.
Yeah.
And he's like, you just need to find your target audience. I was like, I know who my target audience is. I speak to them on a daily basis. I'm like, it's just the app. It doesn't like me.
Yeah.
And then there's people who's like, buy my special package to teach you how to do all this. I'm like, no. I don't want the millions of followers. I just want to connect with actual readers.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather speak to 5 people that will actually read my book than 50,000 who won't. Exactly.
Like, who will send me unhinged messages at 2 a.m. when they've finished it. I love those.
Have you gotten any of those?
Yes. From this book, yes. I love it. I genuinely love it. And it's the people spotting the tiny little details.
Yeah.
Who message me and they're like, I've spotted this. Does this mean something? And I'm like, oh, and I get so excited because I'm like, yes, I purposely put that in to see if anyone would spot it. And I do absolutely love it. I'm just who said hello. Mercedes said, love me some Y Choose. I do like a Y Choose. The first Y Choose series I read was the Bonds That Tie series. Karen, yes, it will be a new series. Pronouncing Effie, all right. Yeah, I did have messages about pronunciations and because there's a lot of Welsh words in there. I feel like heavy world building is an ADHD trope. Having something so distinct in your head. Definitely. I reckon that's true. I recommend it to anyone who brings up reading fantasy to me. Oh, library shoutouts. Thank you so much. That's lush. For some reason. Oh, there she is.
I'm just going to keep waving it every few moments in case like new people join. This is what we are discussing.
I'm just going to be... I see, this is why I'm awful. My ADHD brain makes me want to give out all the spoilers. And I need to remind myself when not to do that. I'm literally that person. If readers message me and they're like, is this? And I'm like, do you really want to know? Because I will tell you. I am that person where if you sit and watch a film with me, I won't watch the film. I will watch you watch the film.
Yeah.
To make sure you're getting every little thing. This is why my best friend, and everyone knows how nuts I am about Harry Potter. We've been best friends 20 years. And she's never watched Harry Potter because she never read the books, never watched it. And it's because she was like, Gem, I just can't sit there with you and watch film. And I was like, yeah, that's fair enough. So she's vowed to never watch it. I've got a daughter into it though, so revenge. Bookish Loves, we were like, Bookish Loves was lovely. She sent me she found some errors in it because Amazon, as I said, there was messing up between Ingram Spark and Amazon. Amazon didn't upload, so the first editions didn't upload my most recent manuscript that I'd uploaded. So they uploaded the one with like a few errors, not like major, just like an apostrophe year and like a couple of things. But I was like, Amazon is the bane of my life compared to Ingram Spark. So that's what I was gonna say. See, ADHD off in tangents. I am working on a hardcover special edition of the Faerie Guild Trials, which will be available on my shop, on my website when it's done, and it will have a bonus chapter from Ansel. So
we all love a bonus chapter.
I love a bonus chapter. This is why for Queen of the Exiled, when you've read it, I have a deleted scene.
Is it in that one?
You bought the special? Yeah. No. It's not, because it's not canon. It's basically my own fanfic chapter of something a lot of people wanted to happen. So I will send that to you when you've read it.
Please do.
I mean, and Perez is involved in it, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will send you that.
We've had a question from Toxic Clown that says, are your books a good choice for novice fantasy readers?
Kind of depends. If you are coming in and you don't want spice, you want like clean fantasy, I would definitely say you need to go read Rhianne's first series, because they are just chef's kiss. They're amazing. And also, similar to Prince of the Ancients, male main character. Oh, just look at that cover. I love it. They're all on my shelf, like pride of place. Definitely read them. If you want spice, then out of my series, Faerie Guild Trials would be the one to go for, because my first series, the Stag and Hollows Chronicles, is it is epic fantasy. There's a lot of world building. Some people have what word am I looking for? Compared. Why was that so hard for me to think of? Have compared it to like Lord of the Rings, but it doesn't take 100 pages to describe a tree. So it is heavier on the world building, but I genuinely love the world so much. And the characters, it's got found family, dragon shifters. There is romance and spice. However, because it's epic romantic fantasy, the romance isn't the main thing. So I will not promise not to kill off characters. Try not to give stuff away. Or rip out your hearts. I love to hurt people. I'm joking. That sounds awful.
Yeah, I do as well. Oh, hi, Chelsea. That's my real life friend. So I specifically did something in book 3 of Kingdom of Lies that my critique partner hated me for.
Really? And you left it in anyway?
I did, yeah. Yeah, because it was part of the story. It furthered the plot. It made sense to do at the time. It broke my heart to do it. But
that sounds like what my brain has been telling me about Truth of the Hollow.
Yeah.
I've written Truth of the Hollow. You know when you sometimes got to go back and you got to put those little filler scenes in or expand on filler scenes, conversations. So that's all I need to do now, really. But I knew how it was going to end. I wrote the big ending scene, and then I sat there in front of my open laptop and cried for 4 hours.
Yeah. So I was very, very sad.
It's
chapter 27 in book 3.
Especially when it's the last book in a series. It is like grief.
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying goodbye. It's so to the characters. Now I've had that when I've like read books, and I think that's why I find it so hard to finish a series when I start reading one, because saying goodbye to characters is so hard.
Yeah.
Especially when they've lived in your head rent free for years. But
Yeah. Yeah, I never understood the meaning of kill your darlings until I did that in the book, because it hurt so much.
it does. It absolutely kills. I have actually had to make a promise that I will not kill. I will hurt, but I will not kill Antares.
Mm.
Because I had someone message and threaten to find my house and go find me. I was like, I promise I'm not going to hurt him. Well, I am going to hurt him. I'm not going to kill him off. I was like, I promise you, he'll be safe. He's my favourite.
He's a character that makes it to the end. He just might be a little bit maimed.
Yeah, basically. It's fantasy, not everyone makes it out. So.
True. Although not if you're in my books.
No. Someone said actually when I mentioned the lead scene, I think I might know that chapter unless you have another one involving Ant. Right. Car. This one involves 3 people. So I don't know if I've sent you that one. There is a lush bonus chapter at the end of the book you've got, which is Ant's point of view, but it's not a spicy one. I actually do have a deleted spicy scene involving Ant and 2 other characters. Because it was just there. It was just there. And I had so many messages from my art readers and readers once they finished it saying, you stole us of this scene. And I was like, oh, well, I've written it. Do you want it? And they were like, yes. So I was like, yeah, email over. Yeah, have it. Like, I love alternatives. I've always loved fan fiction. I still read Hermione fan fiction now. But so I thought I'd write my own.
I actually haven't ventured into Hermione fan fiction, but I keep being told that I should.
Yes. Yes. You need to.
So I have got Manacled.
Oh, right. Manacled, yes. Manacled broke my heart. But honestly, there's one called Secrets and Masks, which broke my heart more. Just destroyed me. I think about it on a weekly basis. And I read it last year. It's horrifically heartbreaking. And there's a dragon in it.
Ooh, love dragons.
Like,
I'm in.
As
Sold.
a like main side character. I know you love dragons, as I said, but yeah. I'm gonna go read the one you sent me later to refresh my memory. Isn't Hermione what led into Shadowhunters? Not Hermione fanfiction. Oddly, wasn't it? It was like Ginny and Draco. Or yeah. If you honestly look into this, the Shadowhunters books were based on fanfiction that she wrote, which was like Ginny Weasley fanfiction.
How did it turn in? What?
Yeah.
My mind has just been blown. Like,
yeah, I remember seeing the videos about it and I was like, what? And then I had a Google and a research and I was like, oh my god, it is.
That is insane.
I haven't finished that series. I think I've read the first 3 books of that, but
I thought I'd read them all, but then when I checked, I'd only read 5.
yeah, there's so many more now. So I need to catch up with them. What's it gonna?
Blender's broke. We just found a lump of plastic in one.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Trying to kill me.
You sneak in shards of plastic in your food.
Yeah, so my husband's just come to tell me that I need to be careful with my dinner because the blender broke and he's just found a lump of plastic in his food.
Oh god. Oh no. Please don't choke on live.
It's alright, I'm only eating small bits, so hopefully if I find one, I won't eat it.
So I did get sent some questions. Some of these are like Faerie Guild Trials specific, but a lot of these are just generic ones, which I was like, yes, because I want to know from you as well. So the first one I was asked is, which I thought was a brilliant question. Oh yeah, apparently it's Magnus Bane books as well. Oh, see, that I would be interested in. Magnus Bane was my favourite character. Hi, Danny. So if you could co-write a book with another author, who would it be?
Well, I have been in talks with somebody about doing a co-author project. So them, but I won't name them because it's still in talks. We're not.
Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting.
But I would say if like I had to pick like a top 3, it would probably be Maria V. Snyder, because she is amazing. I love every book that she's ever written. My friend Alice, because she's just written a new book and it's one of the best things I've ever read in my life. And probably you, darling.
Oh, thanks. I'd love to co-author. I was thinking, I can't wait for your adult fantasy to come out. But I was literally just thinking, I was like, if I wanted to write YA, because your writing in your YA series is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
My issue is like, I don't know if I know how to start writing a YA. Because my instinct is to swear and just... But for me, I think Sarah A. Parker.
Oh, yes, what a great choice.
I love her writing. I have followed her for years, since I picked up her series To Bleed a Crystal Bloom.
Which you can't see, but I have one version just there.
I love To Bleed a Crystal Bloom. I fell in love with it. And to me, when I was reading it, it felt like I was in an anime. Like, it was dark, it was gritty, and I could literally, as I was reading it, like, see it as an anime. I was like, this is perfect. C.A. Farron, Katie Farron, author of Songs of the Wicked. I love her. I love her writing. It's so immersive. It reminds me of like Prince of the Ancients and all.
Yeah.
You obviously, for why I've said that. Noelle Rain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love her books. If anyone doesn't know who Noelle Rain is, she wrote Empress of Air and Chaos. And
this one.
It's on my shelf downstairs, but yeah, I love her books. I just love them. And that series is basically, if you like Vampire Diaries, it's basically Elena having to choose between Stefan and Damon.
Well, I need to bump this up for my TBR.
Yes. I don't usually like a love triangle, which is hilarious because I've just kind of written one. But it made me like love triangles. It was that good. Danny asks, is there going to be a book 2 of the Faerie Guild Trials? There is. I already have the title, that's one thing I will not spoil today, because I thought I didn't want to do it before people haven't read the first one. It is going to be a duology, so there are going to be 2 books. I put up a post on Instagram earlier saying what is included, and it will be an enemies to lovers, and I mean it will be bloody, it will be stabby, it will be a very vicious reconciliation, because we all know our main girl Effia doesn't do things by halves. So yes, there definitely will be a book 2. I have already started writing it, so yeah. But that one is, I've already mentioned, I have started writing a Why Choose Vampire Romance, which is based in the same world, just the vampire realm. And I am thinking, because that's going to be a duology as well, but I'm thinking there's going to be one book which is a crossover, which is why it's going to cross over. So there'll be 2 books
Excuse me?
which standalone, and then there'll be a singular standalone which crosses over between the 2. Which is why I said on my Instagram post, happy ever after for now, at the end of this series. So that's all planned out. That's all done. But yay, I need it ASAP. Oh. So yeah, I can't wait for that. Favourite thing about being an author?
Talking to people that don't exist.
Making up people in my head that actually like me.
Yeah. You know, all the people that were nasty to me, I just create them as a character and then I, get rid of them in creative ways.
Like, oh, they got the same name as me. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
Probably, Marnie Norton says we love you. You are such a sweetheart. I love Marnie. Her videos are so funny. They make me laugh. This is the issue when I'm filming content. I want to be funny, but I don't think I am.
I'm the same. I'm not funny either, so I stick to...
Yeah. I love your weekly word count videos, though. You are keeping me in check with those. Well, yeah, but you're a machine. You get up at like 5 a.m.
Yeah. I'm in this seat by 5 a.m. every morning.
I don't know. It's ADHD. Yeah, it's the ADHD, Marnie says. I don't know how you're up at 5 a.m. with a child.
She's the reason.
Luckily, I have like military style sleep trained my two, so they are very, very good with sleep. It was very hard when they were younger for like a good solid week or two, but they are now trained. So I could get up earlier. I think.
Yeah, I mean,
wise, maybe I should get up earlier.
Mine is only 2, so I feel like I need to wait a little bit before I could train her to do that.
I did mine from like 9 months. Like, still cut it. Well, actually, it wasn't that, because I was still breastfeeding, so it wasn't that early, actually, on my second one. But I was like, a year old when they went into their own rooms. It was like from a year old. And I was like, right. But I would like lie in their bed and cuddle them. But I would make sure to leave. Only because I'm chronically ill. And when I go to sleep, I'm always in a lot of pain, so I move a lot. So I didn't want child in the bed with me. I don't want to like potentially hurt them or anything. Because there is nothing wrong with having your children in the bed or giving them cuddles at all. So yeah, they were sleep trained. But yeah, I should probably get up earlier. And because the peace and quiet must be nice. Just get up an hour before everyone else.
Yeah, it is very nice in the morning when you've got like nobody around. It's just you and the words.
Yeah. I bet that's not nice in the winter though when it's still dark out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I sit here in my cozy fleecy jumper.
With a hot chocolate, actually, this sounds quite cozy. What's So, someone did ask, will there be more world building in bit 2? Right. I have seen a few people talk about the world building in book 1 because I am a masochist and I actually love reading reviews, especially on Goodreads. I know there's a lot of people on this space who have said reviews aren't for authors. I agree to a certain point. I agree that authors shouldn't attack reviewers. That's absolutely vile. But I am a Hermione Granger. I love knowledge. I constantly want more. So I do read reviews because if they're constructive, and I also, if people message me and say, oh, can we just have a chat? I'm like, yeah, like someone emailed me actually and said, I DNF the Faerie Guild Trials. Do you want me to leave a review on Goodreads? And I was like, that's completely your choice. I was like, that's your personal preference. I'm not going to attack you for leaving a DNF review or anything or no rating. And she said, well, how do you feel about it personally? I said, as a reader, personally, if it's 2 stars or under, I don't rate. Unless there was something very, very specific, like, what word am I looking for? Like anything discriminatory in there. Was there even a word?
Yeah.
My brain's gone mush. If there was
It is a
anything
word,
if there was anything like that, if there's anything like vile content, and I don't mean taboo, spicy things because I enjoy them. Not in real life, I enjoy them in books. But yeah, anything like if they're phobic of any kind, then I will specifically leave a review. But if it's just a DNF, I feel like I haven't read the entire book, so I don't have all of the information to make a valid opinion about it. So personally, I don't review DNFs or put them on Goodreads because I don't, especially if it's an indie author. So I said that to her. She was like, that's fine. She was like, I don't want to leave you on, but can I give you some feedback? And I was like, yeah, please do. Because I feel like I can't improve unless I get that constructive critique. And we ended up having a really, really, really lovely conversation. And she brought up something I already knew, because it's a conversation I've had with my editor. She just said that sometimes in the like descriptions, in the world building, it slipped out of like emotive language. And she asked how, and I said, I'm glad you pointed that out actually, because my editor pointed that out. It comes from when I was in university. I was doing law in university, and I'm from a very working class background. So I did things like elocution lessons, going to the Inns of Court in London, all of that. I tried to make myself sound and write better, and spent so long researching like legal text, writing from legal text. And then I went to work with the solicitors, and that sort of language, as you can imagine in the legal field, just stuck in my head. And sometimes I do slip out of emotion, which is what's needed for fiction writing. So I was like, I'm glad you've pointed that out. My editor tells me off about that all the time. But I was like, but yeah.
The thing is, though, they're just little habits, aren't they? Like, because I made a TikTok the other day about saying how no matter how much I write or anything like that, hi, lovely, whenever she reads my drafts, the same mistakes are always in there. She always has to point them out to me. And I'm like, where would I be without you? Because it's clearly just a habit that I have that I haven't quite learnt how to break yet.
Yeah, sometimes it is really hard to slip out of a habit. Like this time around, for some reason, I really like the word whilst. And there's like so many of it. And I was like, I don't know why. And I had this conversation with my narrator for Prince of the Ancients. I did not realise they don't really use that word in the US.
Don't they?
No, because I brought it up to her how she said it, and I was like, no, it's whilst with a ST on the end. And they were like, oh, no, it's not. It's not really a commonly used word where she was from. I was like, oh, okay. But they were like, we just use while. And I was like, true. So yeah, that's my like bad habit. My previous bad habits were rolling eyes. Oh, yeah. All my characters roll their eyes, hell of a lot. It's just the sarcastic in me coming out.
Yeah, I love an eye roll as well.
Yeah, or a raised brow.
My editor's always like, give them all different ticks. And I'm like, ugh.
Sometimes I like concentrate so hard on it, like Effia. Eliana in my Stag and Hollow Chronicles, she like chews her cheek when she thinks, so she's like, and I was like, because that's what I do. So I was like, oh right, that's when I can remember. And then other people, I'm like, it's like normal. I'm trying to remind myself like little ticks, like people fiddling with their hands or rubbing their temple, stuff like that. I'm like, I need to stop rolling the eyes. Although I do that on a daily basis. So
I mean, like, you can have it. It's just that needs to be one specific character, and then all the other characters need to have, like, different.
Yeah. They're not, like, all sat there in a circle rolling their eyes at each other.
Which is really annoying. Yeah.
Go on. So, third question submitted was, what inspires you to write in the fantasy genre?
Because I love reading it. They're my favourite type of stories. Who doesn't want a story with a dragon?
Yeah.
I don't, anyway. Although I have read some very good stories that don't have dragons in.
yeah, same basically. Childhood trauma. Reading fantasy as a young child was a way to escape, like real life. So I remember being given the very first Harry Potter book when I was 7 years old, and like whizzing through that when it came out, and then getting every other one from then. So it was escapism at its finest. And I think, yeah, you don't have to make it as real in your head as like contemporary books. You can just escape. Everything is magical. So yeah, that's definitely the same thing. Escapism.
Yeah, I think escapism is a big one for me as well, because when the world gets a little bit too much, it's nice to just be able to escape to a fantasy land that you control.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how much you're going to share on this one, but we kind of spoke about it a little bit, but what project are you working on at the moment?
I am currently working on a interconnected standalone series.
I love an interconnected series.
Well, it was supposed to just be the one book. And then I was asked for... Well, I got an idea for a secondary character, and then I was asked for the other 2 characters. And I was like, okay. I guess I'm doing 4 now.
I love it. That's sort of what I'm doing with my contemporary romance series.
Although, I am also plotting another story, which will be a standalone, but it's kind of inspired by, like, all of the K-dramas that I've been watching, because they know how to hit tropes, and they know how to hit beats.
I've just rewatched Business Proposal on Netflix. Have you watched that one?
I've not seen that yet. I'm currently watching the double.
Have you seen My Demon?
That's on my list to watch next.
Oh my god, it's so good. I love a K-drama. Absolutely love a K-drama. Yeah. I've watched so many on Netflix. Yeah, the tropes and everything. It's sort of what got me into K-pop, starting off with K-dramas. And then I was like...
A nice little segue.
And then I was like, whoop, K-pop. And I was like, ooh, Stray Kids. And then ended up going to see them last weekend. Oh my god, it's so good. But yeah, K-drama. Oh my god, you're going to have to send me that when it's done. I need to read that. But yeah, they do tropes. The tropes in them are so good. I don't see. My brother sent me earlier. The BBC is doing a reality show where they send like 4 UK living Korean boys to go over to Korea and audition for a band, I think it was. And they're going to do like a reality show following them and the process. I was like, ooh. I was like, that sounds good.
That could be really interesting.
I know, because I'm always like seeing these K-pop bands. And I know they go through really like rigorous training and auditioning and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see it like on the BBC. But yeah, I do love a K-drama. I'll send you a list. We'll have to compare what ones you've watched.
Please do.
Yeah. Who was your favourite character to write?
To be fair, I've not written that many characters.
Like, you've got a cast.
I would probably say, so I would probably say in Kingdom of Lies, I actually really enjoyed writing Merrick. Even though he's not like a main character, he was real fun. And I really enjoyed writing him. But I would say probably one of my favourites so far is in the new book.
Ooh, can't wait for that. Yeah, I had 2 questions like that, which were quite similar. One was, do you have a favourite character from your books? And who was your favourite character to write? And I was like, it's technically 2 different questions.
Mm-hmm.
Because my favourite character is definitely Antares from the Stag and Hollow Chronicles. I'm pretty sure people who've read those books aren't going to be surprised at all. But my favourite character to write was definitely Effia. Like I said, it was like,
Yeah.
during therapy, it was very healing for me. She was like who I see myself as from my inner child's perspective, who I wish I had protected me, sort of thing. And I just love her, even though she's morally grey and everything. I love her. So she was definitely my favourite character. Still is to write. I've just been writing a piece for her in the second book today, and I love her. She just doesn't care.
Yeah, I'm excited because I think in book 4, I'm probably going to bring other characters back in.
Oh.
So I'm kind of excited to see how that plays out when I finally get there. I'm currently writing book 3 at the moment, so.
Oh. It's so exciting. I love hearing how far along everyone's doing in writing. What is it? The book's first chapter is in third person and the rest is in first. Why is that? I've had comments on this. People have mentioned this in reviews as well. So I struggled with this. The first chapter, people will notice, it's not in Effia's point of view. It is in third person, like an omnipotent character, and then switches to first person Effia's point of view in chapter 2. Because originally it was going to be a prologue, but I polled it amongst my beta readers and stuff, and they were like, people are going to skip it if it's got the word prologue above it. Just put it as chapter 1. So that is what we decided. But that chapter is from someone else's point of view.
Is it?
Yeah. It's from their name is in the book. They are named in the book. You do not meet them, but they are named somewhere in the book. And that is from their point of view, like an omnipotent point of view. It was planned all along. I knew they will be introduced in book 2.
Okay. I'm even more intrigued now.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to introduce them. But I can wait, but I can't. But
And they're coming in book 2, yeah?
yes, they will be arriving in book 2.
Cool.
Oh. There we go. We froze for a little then.
Yeah, my signal's being an absolute poo, so I apologise.
I'm surprised mine isn't. I'm sat up in the attic. We converted our attic into a games room, so I was like, Wi-Fi is not the best up here, but touch wood. Touch wood. Have you ever thought about writing another genre?
Yes. I did attempt to write a romance, like, nanny kind of. Yeah, but it didn't really go anywhere, so I decided to bin it off and went back to fantasy.
Yeah, you are good at writing fantasy, though. So, but I would have loved a nanny romance.
Yeah, so I'm kind of. It's still there. Like, I still have what I wrote.
Yeah.
So maybe one day I'll go back to it, but yeah, at the moment it's on the back burner.
That's the beauty of it. Like, you can start the amount of like first chapters I've started, and you can just always put them on the back burner for later. And then if I'm like, where I know this is going to be in it, I'll just leave a little note at the bottom and be like,
Yeah,
I know I need to go back to that at some point. But I've got so many of them. Most of them fantasy, but I have got contemporary romances now as well, which is so exciting. I feel like it's so much easier to write contemporary romance because it's the real world. I haven't got to make anything up and think carefully about how everything links together and the rules and stuff. Feel like it's just so much easier to write when I'm writing contemporary romance. And I can be like colloquial. I can just write how I speak or how my character speaks. I haven't got to be fussy. with the language I'm using.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. That does make sense. So, in your adult fantasy series you're writing, how many books do you have planned?
Just the 4.
Just the 4. Just the 4.
Yeah. Just the 4.
Just
And
the 4.
if you want like a teeny tiny spoiler, it's because there's 4 siblings.
Right. So it follows siblings. I love that. Oh, I love that. Can you give any details? Is it like witchy? Is it dragons? Is it fae?
So the first one is very dragon heavy. The second one is wolfy.
Yay! This sounds awesome.
The third one brings in the elves. And then the fourth one kind of brings everybody together.
I love that. That sounds amazing. So when are you finishing all just 4 books?
Well, I'm 18,000 words into book 3.
How? You're just an absolute machine. Like when you put up your word, I do hold myself to your standard now, because when you put up your word count videos and you're like, on Monday I wrote 900 words, on Tuesday I wrote 1,000 words, on Wednesday, and I'm like, shut up, Ree.
Yeah, I do that to kind of hold myself accountable. I'm like, my goal has always been 500 words a day.
Yeah, I might start doing that. It's the ADHD, it's the chaotic ADHD brain. As I know organisation sometimes helps. I don't know if there's anyone else here with ADHD. But as soon as my brain's like, yeah, we can be organised, we can do this, we can highlight everything and make it look pretty. And then my brain just goes to chaos. And it's like, no, we thrive in the chaos. Just do it whenever. But I did get a wall planner so I could put all because I'm useless with like calendar appointments and stuff, to put all that on. And it did empty my brain a little bit. So that has taken the burden off keeping everything in my head and then expecting people to know what's happening that week. But yeah, when it comes to writing, I'm just going to do what you do and get up at... No, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm not getting up at 5 a.m.
Thing is, I think I am an enigma in that. Like, no one else gets up that early.
Yeah.
So
I'd be downing 5 energy drinks if I was up that early.
My thing has always been, you need to find the best writing time for you. Because before I found like my best writing time, I used to try and write in the evenings, and then I'd be really disappointed when I'd only written like 20 words. It's because I wasn't motivated. Like I was really tired. I was really like, that's not when I'm high energy. My high energy is first thing in the morning, which is much to other people's distaste.
Mine's odd. Again, chronically ill, so fatigue is an absolute nightmare. But yeah, it would probably be the mornings. But when I initially wake up, I'm like, ugh, I'll just doze.
Oh yeah, so I get up at 5, but my alarm goes off like 15 minutes before that.
You make me sick.
Yeah, so my alarm goes off at 4:45, so that I've got 15 minutes to like, oh god, I got to get up. And then, you know, I stumble into my office, turn my computer on, and it's just like a ping.
Jade says my brain wants to write, but instead I end up doing more plotting on building details and stuff. That's it.
That's still fine, because you're still making progress.
Yeah. That's it. My issue is I'll be writing and then I'm like, oh, this scene for this other project has just come in my head. So I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, document. Yes. But I suppose it's like little by little getting there. As long as it's getting there. And then sometimes I sit down to write and I'm like, my brain is just on it. This is why I struggle so much with Truth of the Hollow, because Truth of the Hollow, because as I said, it's more about the fantasy plot than the romance, was very, very mentally heavy to get into, especially after what happened in book 2. No spoilers for you. So yeah, especially after book 2, mentally it was incredibly difficult to get back into that space, because I wrote book 2 when I was mentally in a bad place, and it was very easy. And after therapy and all, getting into book 3 then was really hard
Yeah.
to slip into, especially when Effia was coming and knocking on my brain, and she was like, yeah, write this nice fantasy romance.
Nice. I see those lies.
I see those lies. Yeah, wait till book 2. I've said it will be a very bloody, stabby reconciliation. It is going to be a proper enemies to lovers, but they do love each other.
Mm-hmm.
But they will be enemies.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I love it.
I can't wait either, and I've not even read book 1 yet. That is also on my immediate TBR. It will be read soon. Although, not my physical copy, because I did also buy a Kindle version. Yeah, so this will stay pristine.
I've like got my own like physical edition. I'm like, I don't want to crack the spine. So I'm like going through it like this. But I'm gonna do, and I have done it for a Prince of the Ancients hardcover, and I still haven't done it. I've annotated the special edition hardcover of Prince of the Ancients.
Ooh.
And I was going to do it as a giveaway. Still haven't done it. But I annotated it with like my thoughts going through like why I did certain things, like highlighted favourite scenes. So, and I've loved it. Like reading back through a book years after you've finished it, because I don't know how often you reread your books.
Not very often.
It's so strange. But the annoying thing is, I do go back through it, especially the first one, and I'm like, I should refresh this.
Yeah. See, I think that's why I don't, because I feel like if I did, I would find so many things wrong with it, and I'd be like, I have to change this, and I need to change that, and I need to update this. So I'm just like, no, it's done.
Like, why did I do that?
Yeah. Toxic Clown says, do you have any advice for someone writing their first fantasy story?
Ooh. I think rules-wise, is if you're going to have a fantasy series with magic, you need to get your magic rules down. Like, is it a hard magic system, which is very much like Wheel of Time and stuff like that? Or is it like a soft magic system where you don't really need to explain it? And I still don't know what magic systems I've got. I just go off. Yeah, this is why. But you've got to have answers if it sort of like closes any loopholes within your magic system. Also, obviously, I think the main one is world building.
Yeah.
Is how deep into world building do you want to go? Lore-wise, everything like that. Like, for my first series with Prince of the Ancients, I could probably fill another book with lore, which isn't in the books. Like, there's so much lore, there's so much history, like Game of Thrones. Like, maybe that's what I should do, because that's what House of the Dragon was originally in the book. It's just like I might just do that. But then it's the same. The lore just lives up in my head, and I need somewhere to put it without putting everything in the book. Like, you haven't got, that's part of the advice. You haven't got to tell the reader everything. Don't spoon feed the reader.
Yeah, my favourite way to world build is to discover it through the character.
Yeah, like through dialogue.
Yeah, well, and through the character's actions. Like, if we're following this one character, we only need to know the world that they see.
Yes. That used to be a big problem for me, was like point of view slipping. Mm-hmm. My editor would be like, she can't know that. Like, that character can't know that. And I'm like, oh yeah, good point. Why didn't I realise that? So that was a big issue with me when I started.
Yeah, it can get a little bit difficult when you're like, when you're like writing stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, I know this, blah, 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 and then you're like, wait, this character doesn't know this information. So
it's so hard, because it's all in your head. You're like, write it all down. And people are like, they can't possibly know that. Their back is turned. They can't see them roll their eyes. stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think my piece of advice would be write a list of everything that you like in fantasy.
Yeah.
Because there's no point in writing about something that you don't like. Unless it's for a
Which
reason.
is why I promise I will never, ever, ever write an unexpected pregnancy. I'd probably eat those words like 10 years down the line, but at the moment, no. I just can't.
Yeah, I don't think I would either.
Like, I have my own children, I don't want to write about other children.
No fantasy babies here.
Yeah. I definitely see enough of them in the day. I think I know. Oh, this was good. What are some of your favourite reads of the year then?
Shadow and Storms by Helen Schreier.
I haven't read that one yet.
That was the most epic conclusion to a series ever. It was incredible. I actually can't think off the top of my head. Oh, the Crimson Moth. That was incredible. I loved that.
I keep seeing that absolutely everywhere, and the cover is so beautiful.
Well, it's supposed to be a YA, but it doesn't read like a YA. So I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because it's kind of like an upper, almost new adult.
Right?
Yeah. Looking at my shelves, like, what else have I read this year?
No, I'm like, I've been very slow on the upkeep of reading. I've been writing so much. When I'm writing, I don't like to read fantasy because I don't want it to influence my writing anyway. So when I'm writing, I read contemporary. And then when I'm having a break in writing, I'll read fantasy. Because you do, like, subconsciously take these things in.
Yeah. See, I quite like a little romance between all the fantasy. Like, if I feel like I'm too fantasy heavy, I will go for a romance.
Yeah, just like a palette cleanser.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look
So
at my
I've read 52 books this year, but I can't think of a single one.
I think I've read like I've read like 13, but I probably read another like 20 Hermione fanfics.
One Dock Window. That was incredible.
Is it good? Because
so good. I devoured it. Like, I would happily go and reread the series because it was just fantastic.
Yeah, I've seen loads of people. I've seen like half and half. Like one of my good friends on your Bookish Soul tour. Like I'm pretty sure she said she didn't like it. And then one of my good friends from the US was like, "This is the best book I've read all year." And I was like, "What if I do then?" But I always like to give things
Marmite book.
Oh, it's a Marmite book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the more I find with people to Bleed a Crystal Bloom. I find people either love it or they hate it.
Yeah. And also,
what's the one I keep seeing everywhere? I've just downloaded and read the first chapter. Quicksilver. Have you seen that all over TikTok? Have you got it? I've just got it on Kindle.
I have it on Kindle as well.
I've read the first chapter.
And?
I enjoyed it. But the first few chapters, there are inconsistencies.
Okay.
Just with the story. But it's not enough to ruin my experience. It's just something that niggles at my brain. It's like, ooh, but it's like, oh, I'll carry on anyway. But I've read more than the first chapter. I've got to the bit where he's just come out of the silver stuff and then she like is unconscious. Oh. So I'm assuming this is where it all kicks off. I will continue reading. So my top reads of the year have been Heartless, book 2 in the Chestnut Springs series.
Yeah, I love that.
Eden. Delicious.
Yes.
I have never, ever, ever been into cowboys. It has opened my eyes. Like, I started watching Yellowstone directly after reading them. I was like, oh, no. And then I even on YouTube was watching Bull Rider what's the competitions called that they have? The rodeos. Like,
Yeah.
I watched a few of them and I was like, okay, I see it. But yeah, Chestnut Springs was a beautiful series, but Heartless with Katie and again, a nanny romance was my favourite. Bride.
I've not read that yet.
Oh no, I loved it. Mostly because the female main character is so goofy. Like, so real, even though it's a fantasy, it's supernatural, like paranormal romance. I did just, and Ali Hazelwood's writing, I could just read so easily. So, and what that was a good book. I think those are the only 2 5 stars I've given this year. Yeah. Those are the only 2 5 stars I've given this year so far.
I've
I've got
given
4 stars.
I've given 12 5-star reviews this year.
That's like my entire book things for the year. I think I've read like...
Yeah, but then I've read 52 books this year so far, so...
But yeah. Yeah, the Chestnut Spring series I just devoured. I did read Powerless because some of my beta readers said that the Faerie Guild Trials was like Powerless, and I'd never read it, hadn't heard of it, and then it was in the works and it was everywhere. So read it, and I was like, oh, actually, this is alright. And it was kind of similar vibes, actually, like the Trials, basically, that's it. But I did rate it 4 stars. But it is very similar to like a number of other books. I've heard a lot of people say it's like Victoria's The Red Queen. But I haven't read that.
I haven't read that series yet.
No, it's on my shelf, but I haven't read it. But
yeah, I have it, but I haven't read it.
Yeah. And then like Hunger Games, which is always going to be a comparable for a lot of books because everyone loves Hunger Games. Yeah, and then some of the Chestnut Spring series were 4 stars. I did read a taboo romance the other day. Just as a palette cleanser, and someone put it up, and it was called Scream for Us.
I'm not sure I even want to ask.
No.
But then earlier this year I read Morning Glory Milking Farm.
So did I.
And then I decided
curiosity.
Then I decided I need to branch out, so I bought Gentling the Beast. The art that came with that was... I'll send it to you later, because, oh my god.
Morning Glory Milking Farm, what a name.
Yeah, I know.
It's exactly what it sounds like. The main male character is
a
humanoid. Is a humanoid. Like he can... What's his name again?
So now I have this. Gentling the Beast.
Is that the gargoyle one?
I think it's a white orc.
A white orc.
Yes, a white orcish monster.
We were having this conversation the night before British Book Bash. They did a panel, and the same thing come up from all of the dark romance writers, where they were like, "I love alien porn." Aliens, and they were like, "Yeah, anything." And they were like, "Have you seen the one with the spider?" And I was like,
"Spider?"
Yeah, like a humanoid spider.
No, thank you. No, that's me out.
I had to look at the cover, and I was like, "Oh no." Yeah.
I'll be there with the spider X-ray. Stay away.
But yeah, I did. I did read the first like 20% of Morning Glory Milking Farm. It was pure curiosity.
But then I've seen books about all sorts recently. So there was a book that came up in a book club that I'm in, and it is about a woman who falls in love with her new freezer.
Yeah, was it you who told me about that?
Yeah.
On Amazon.
Probably. I've been telling everyone because I just think it's the most ridiculous. It's called Freezer Teaser by Missy Love.
Seen the one with the front cover and it's just a door. She falls in love with the door.
No, but I've heard about it.
Yeah. Like whatever floats your boat.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some shocking things. But the alien romance I can understand. The Ice Planet Barbarians I have not read. Although I've spoken to so many readers who like swear by them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, maybe one day. I'll give it a go. So I need a palette cleanser. I'll stick to the fantasy and the dragons. No. Oh god. So, any update on a release date for the first fantasy?
No, purely because I think I might do a Kickstarter.
I've been thinking that.
So I actually have 2 covers for this book.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that I could do a Kickstarter, and then the beautiful character art one that I got will be the exclusive.
Have you already got character art for it?
Yes. So I've got portraits of the male and female main characters.
I love that. I need to get some more character art done.
Yeah, I've been looking to find an artist to do like a couple of scenes, but I know that they're expensive, so I need to save up a bit of moolah first.
That's the issue, because there's so many good artists.
Mm-hmm.
They are expensive. Like, I want them all to do one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you...
I'm just like, I don't earn money fast enough to pay you.
Like, have you seen Jodie Creates? She does very spicy scenes.
Does she?
Yeah, she did one actually. She did one for Prince of the Ancients. She did the scene in the tent at the end.
No.
Yes, I have to see if I can find it. Yeah, she did the scene in the tent, and it is amazing. But yeah, her work is amazing. I just found it straight away. Look at that. I'll have to cover, but you get the gist.
Oh yes, very nice.
That scene. Yeah, she's amazing. She loves doing like not safe for work scenes. I definitely recommend her. I did message her actually last week, and I was like, I'm thinking about doing a Kickstarter. I might want to commission you for a few pieces soon. And she was like, ooh, yay.
Mm.
Yeah, Kickstarter is so good for indie authors.
Yeah, so yeah, because I've got 2 covers, I was thinking I could do a Kickstarter and have like an exclusive cover, and then I could also hopefully get some art done. I've already booked in my map, so I'm going with Photography Bird, who is amazing, but she's booked out like 6 months in advance, so we've booked that for January.
6 months in advance, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All my maps I've done myself so far, but I would love to get someone to do it for me. Like all the little details. I love the little details in them and everything. But yeah, so that's the problem, I think, is even with Kickstarter, when I was speaking to Jodie, I was like, she's booked in advance then. So you've got to completely like plan it around everything you want. Are you going to do end papers?
I don't know. I don't know what I can and cannot do at the moment, so I'm still kind of researching that.
Yeah.
I think I'll probably just stick to paperbacks because it is quite a short novel, so it's not like... In fact, this is how small it is.
Faerie Guild Trials is tiny.
Yeah, I know, but I just feel like this isn't big enough for a hardback, so I'll probably just stick to
I see what I
paperback.
mean. Yeah.
But it actually has the proper cover on, so I'm trying to hide it. But I'm thinking I could probably do like a foiled cover.
Yeah, it's a little while like through Book Vault.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to speak to them soon about the Faerie Guild Trials. Yeah, I've just formatted I've just formatted the Faerie Guild Trials for a hardcover, and it's like 294 pages.
That is longer than my book.
Oh, well, I was still like, that doesn't feel long enough for a hardcover.
Yeah.
But I was thinking with end pages, with the map, which I'm going to spread over 2 pages, and then bonus chapter. It'll be for up to over 300. So.
Yeah, so I was going to write a bonus chapter specifically for Kickstarter, and it's kind of turned into like 4.
Yeah.
Not quite sure how that happened, but
I've been thinking of ordering some Faerie Guild Trials and doing sprayed edges myself.
Yes. Yeah. Although, isn't Booktalk supposed to be doing...
Printed edges.
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently they'll be doing printed edges, which I feel like is a lot less hassle than sprayed edges.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have anything on it. So literally anything. I know. I can't wait to hear more about that. I did ask during my video call with the sales manager of Ingram Spark last week. I did say, does Ingram Spark have any plan to do sprayed edges or foiling or anything like that? And because she was in publishing, she's moved to Ingram Spark now, and she said it's something I'm pushing for a lot, but it's not going to be anytime soon. I was like, oh, right, but fault it is.
Yeah.
Well, they've got ahead of the market basically doing it now and then. So I'll definitely be in contact with them. I will send you. I've got a Kickstarter document. I'll send you.
Please.
So good.
Yeah.
I will email that across to you now. But are you going? I'm going to share a snippet of the Faerie Guild Trials Book 2. I nearly said the title then.
I will need to go to bed shortly, but I will stay and listen to your little...
And then soon I will get you to divulge some of yours.
I mean, I could probably read the first page.
Do
Do you want me to do it now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so nervous. Right, so this is chapter 1. Tessa's heartbeat matched the sound of her boots hitting the mahogany floor as she tore through the hallway. As the Queen's adopted daughter, spy master, keeper of secrets, and assassin, Tessa was the only one trusted to interrupt Jaron in his private chambers. The youngest of Queen Alyssa's children, Jaron always walked a thin line. The leniency he was shown for his indiscretion meant his punishments usually ended with him being sent to his room, something that had little sway now that he was 21. Turning the corner, Tessa halted her march as her eyes fell on 3 servants huddled around the prince's door, their ears pressed up against it as they shared whispered giggles. Tessa rolled her eyes. Now I have to deal with this rabble too. Her thoughts were interrupted as a feminine moan came from behind the prince's door. Perfect. Prince Jaron was not alone, and that's why Morley wanted me to go. Jaron is going to be livid when I burst in there.
Love it. See, I usually go the bloody route on a chapter start, but I love that. Please tell me she does burst in.
Yes.
That gave me
Yes.
like Jude Carden vibes from the Cruel Prince when he's just.
Do you know, I've actually not read that series yet. It is somewhere on my shelves.
You need to read it. It's so good.
Yes, people keep telling me I need to read it, and I'm like, I will when I get through the other 450 books on my TBR.
Yeah, I think I looked at my Goodreads earlier and it was like added to your to read list 600, and I was like, oh no. Genuinely depresses me that I will not be able to read all the books I want to in my life. But...
So I worked out the other day, for me to just read the books on my Kindle, it would take me 35 years.
No. I can't accept that. No. I will read them all. I won't, because Stuff Your Kindle Day means my Kindle app is just full of so many books. So many good books. Mm-hmm. My issue is I'm a mood reader. So if the first chapter doesn't hook me, I will put it down and switch to another one until I can go back and I'm in the mood for it. Mm-hmm. Perks of ADHD.
Anyway, come on, your turn to read.
Okay, so this is not from chapter 1. This is from chapter 3. This is when the reconciliation starts. So I'll skip a few of the first line. Okay. It's only my second day of being queen when Ansel finds me. My heart betrays me and skips as I see him walk in, a look of absolute relief on his face as he spots me. Vicious one, he breathes out, walking in our direction. He spoke, clearly and in front of Wen. It causes my breath to catch in my throat. I quickly mask my emotions and stand up, positioning myself between him and her. I feel her hands grip the skirt of my dress as she stays hidden behind me. Take one more step towards her and you'll lose your legs, I say, without hesitation, and bare my teeth at him. His steps falter, his brow falling. I'm not going to hurt Wen, Effia. Wen peeks out from behind me, her curiosity piqued. Just like everything else you've ever said to me, keep your lying words behind your teeth. Considering everything we talked about before now was through my lesser magic, technically it would be my lying thoughts. His golden eyes flash. Shut the duck up, I hiss. Verbally or mentally? My anger rises as he continues to speak casually, taunting me with his words. I want to shut him up for good. Both. As your majesty commands. I told you it's proper enemies to lovers. It's gonna be bloody...
He is. That person, he, she, they are very sassy, and...
Oh, yeah.
I think I might just go and start this now. See you later.
Yeah, Effia is. She will not be forgiving and forgetting anytime soon. She's going to make him pay for it in blood.
I mean, whatever he's done, it clearly deserves it.
I'll wait for your messages, Jade. That as your majesty commands also. Oh yeah, now he can, like, now, yeah, he, the sass and the banter is, like, increased so much in this one. I would carry on, but I don't want to spoil things.
No,
but he basically, he does try to walk towards her and he does pay for it. So
I feel like a good stab in the thigh needs to happen.
It might be in his shoulder.
Ah,
I like a thigh stab though. Maybe that. But yeah, the sass is real in this one. You'll love Effia then. You'll love her.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah, I shall leave you. I think my child is probably hassling my husband, who's been ill for 3 days.
Oh, bless him.
No.
No? Has he been moaning?
Oh, yeah. Spent most of the day in bed, I think. No, bless him. He's never ever ill, and then when he is very ill.
Yeah.
But because I'm chronically ill and ill every day and in pain every day, I'm like, I don't feel sorry for you. You only have to put up with this one day. He's like, will you make me a cup of tea? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, make it yourself.
No, make me one. At 5 a.m. when I'm getting up from now on to write the book.
I'll message you in the morning.
Yeah, I will email over. Do not message me at 5 a.m. Definitely not. Absolutely not. Not 5, that's too early. 7.
As your majesty commands.
I love it. I will email you the Kickstarter info.
Thank you.
I need to reread it what he sent me, but I will send that over to you now. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. Everyone who's been watching.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was lush. We would definitely have to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've figured out how to do it and there's not 10 little boxes all over the screen.
Yeah.
Should have really practiced that beforehand. But does anyone have any questions quickly before I go off? It's just popped up in the chat. Great job, you've gone live for 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break.
Yes, TikTok, we are on the way out.
Yes, we are out. We are going to read. We are going to finish our books. Maybe not. She will be at 5 a.m.
Well, I'll be writing the next How many words did I write today? 900 words.
I don't know if I can swear on this with
No.
my hands, but I won't. I don't know how many words I wrote today. Hang on, it's still up. 309. 300.
That's a start.
That's fine. I'll smash out another 200 now.
There you go.
And
Perfect.
then I'll have 500 done. So everyone who's waiting for the sequel to the Faerie Guild Trials, I promise it'll get done. But yeah, I shall love you and leave you.
Yes.
I've got my children out. But we'll do this again soon.
100%.
Thank you everyone for watching. Have a good evening or day wherever it is you are. Bye all. Right, love you, babe.
Love you too.
Bye. I don't know how to turn this off.